Hi there, my name's Angelina Govender, and I've recently released my debut book entitled Navigating the Storms of Life. All within a year, learning to adapt through trauma, pain, and sorrow. Navigating the storms of life, all within a year, learning to adapt through trauma, pain, and sorrow. I would like to take this opportunity of presenting our story to you in the hope that it inspires you and you would try to get a hold of me and get a copy of your book and hope that it encourages your faith and allows your faith to soar. Here's the night when our lives was changed forever. And that was the night of the dreaded call. The night began like any other. There was nothing unusual about it. No warning, no whisper in the wind to say that life was about to change. The air was still, the house quiet, and our hearts peaceful. We had spent the evening together as we often did, sharing small conversations, laughter, and a few of those everyday moments that feel ordinary until you release how sacred, until you realize how sacred they truly were. At 9 p.m., Trey peeked into the lounge, flushed that easy grin, and said, "I'll be quick." It was one of our family rules that the boys always had to let us know where they were going. Trey knew it by heart, and that night was no different. We nodded, thinking nothing of it. Just another ordinary night. No one could have imagined that it would be our last normal night, the final calm before life changed forever. Earlier that day, our family had carried a tender ache in our hearts. It was 9th of August 2024, Pa's first heavenly birthday. We marked the day with love and remembrance, not knowing it would also be the night that changed everything. Just a few months had passed since his homecoming in May, and his absence still lingered in everything we did. Trey especially had felt the weight of that day. He and Pa shared a bond that went beyond words, one built on shared stories, mischief, and love that ran deep through generations. Even in his grief, Trey smiled through it, reminding us that faith was stronger than sorrow. That evening, Yogan and I watched him from the doorway as he laughed and spoke with William. He had that familiar sparkle in his eyes, the kind that could brighten a room without trying. It was close to 9 when he had came to say good night, or at least what we thought was good night. He told us he'd be quick, that he just needed to step out for a bit. I remembered that exchange so clearly. "Don't go back out, Trey," I said, half teasing, half worried. "You've had a long day. Just rest." He smiled with his confident, reassuring smile only a son can give his mother. "Mom, I'll be quick. Promise." He parked his Golf 7 in the garage and took the family car instead, the Golf 8. A small detail, but one that now plays on repeat in my mind. I can still hear the sound of the engine fading down the street, the faint thump of music through the open window. When the door closed behind him, the house settled into silence again. Yogi and I said our prayers before bed, the kind we said every night, thanking God for another day, for our family, for protection over our boys. There was nothing in those moments that hinted at the storm waiting just beyond the horizon. I lay awake a little longer, thinking about Pa, about Trey's smile, and about how fragile and beautiful life can be. I did not know it then, but that would be the last time I saw him whole. It was 1:15 a.m., 10th of August, 2024. It was the sound that split the night in two, the shrill ring of the phone cutting through the stillness. For a moment, I thought I dreamed it. Yogi stared beside me, half asleep, until the second ring came, and something in my heart knew it was not ordinary. I reached for the phone, my hands trembling before I even saw the screen. One of Trey's friends. The name alone made my pulse quicken. Hello, my voice cracked. Auntie, there's been an accident. It's Trey. Everything after that blurred. Words came in broken pieces. Car, Golf 8, his friends were with him. They already called a doctor friend before the ambulance arrived. Their voices sound frantic in the background. Doctor coming, ambulance on the way. The world went silent. About those fragments, I could hear my own heartbeat, heavy and unreal, like I was trapped underwater. Yogi was already sitting up, asking questions I could not answer. I remembered the phone slipping from my hand and on the room spinning, my body refusing to move. I whispered the only words I could find. Lord Jesus, please, please be with my boy. Dad grabbed his keys. I'm going. William appeared in the hallway, pale, confused, his phone lighting up with messages. Mom, what happened? He asked, but my voice would not come. Through the haze, I managed to say, an accident. Trey, they're taking him to Hillcrest. The next moments felt like smoke. They then gone. Yogi and William ran out of the door. The engine roared, and I was left standing in the doorway, clutching the phone to my chest, praying into the darkness. Images came uninvited. Trey's smile at 9 o'clock. Pa's birthday candles we had not lit. Yogi's brother's accident years ago. History folding in on itself. Grief returning in a new disguise. I dropped to my knees beside the bed and prayed the words that made no sense yet carried all the meaning in the world. God, I cannot do this. You're the only one who can. Be there before they arrive. Hold him where I cannot. Minutes drag like hours. Every car that passed outside made my heart stop. Every siren in the distance felt personal. When my younger sister called to say they were heading to the scene, I clung to her voice like a lifeline. Then silence again, thick, endless. I remember staring at the clock, the numbers glowing. 1:47, 1:58, 2:06. Time had lost meaning. Only prayer remained. The race to the scene. Yogi drove like a man chasing a heartbeat. The sound of the car pulling away echoed through the stillness of the house, and I stood frozen by the window, watching the red lights disappear down the street. William sat beside him, his face pale in the glow of his phone as he texted Trey's friend for updates. I could do nothing but pray. The minutes after they left stretched into something beyond time, each one heavier than the last. I tried to call again, but the line was full of voices, movement, panic. I could hear sirens faintly through the speaker and a woman crying somewhere in the distance. He's alive, someone said. Two words that was all I needed to hold on to. At home, I paced the hallway barefoot, whispering scriptures underneath my breath. He shall give his angels charge over you. Over and over, the verse became my rhythm. Every time fear rose, prayer chased it down. Thank you, listeners, for the wonderful opportunity to present to you the night that changed our lives forever. I've only but shared a little snippet to that night, which continued into days and months, and the journey still continues. You can find our book on Amazon in ebook, softcover, and hardcover formats. as well as you can reach out to me on 082 884 6491. That number again is 082 884 6491. And I will be only too happy to arrange a copy for you. And thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity of being able to share with you a small snippet of the night that changed our lives forever from our book, Navigating the Storms of Life. All within a year, learning to adapt through trauma, pain, and sorrow by Angelina Govender. Thank you and God bless. Goodbye.
The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
This is South Coast Radio.